Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Stitches and Coffee with Jurgita. And yep, my name is Jurgita. And this video is going to be mainly about the cross stitching and other probably needlework things that I work on, and a tiny bit perhaps of my life. So if you're new in here, welcome. I hope you like it and you stick around and see what goodies I work on, and maybe be inspired to start something. Or if you've been with me, especially as a subscriber, hope you'll enjoy this next video here, and you'll stick around, and I'll be showing you all kinds of things. So today is August 1st, and a new month, new row of different whips that I have planned for this month. Of course, plans can slightly change, but I always try to stick with my plans. So for this month, I plan to work about 12 different whips. A few of them probably might be totally new. So usually I start my month with the different whip, but yesterday I started this challenge in one of the stitchy games on Facebook that I need to stitch 7K in 7 days with the code word, and I started yesterday, which was the 31st, and I want to work on the pieces that could give me the most stitches in the shortest time. And one of them is this Beloved or Alien and Rowan, and this is where I'm gonna start my August month. So as you can see, not much left to the row. Actually, I originally in the beginning of the year planned to finish the year with this row, but I think I'm gonna try to stitch more, and that means I would leave for next year a little bit less stitching left to do for this piece. So I love how it is turning out, and you can kind of see her eyes already looking down or closed, and there's going to be just the darkness in the back. So I'm gonna concentrate for a couple of more days on this piece, and I guess I'll come back with you with the more stitched part, hopefully all filled in at least in this portion, and we'll see how it all looks with no spaces left in between, because I usually don't like to leave it like this. I like to finish off the sections. So this is where I'm starting my stitching August, and I'll come back in a second to show you the result. And here it is after 3 days of working in August already. So I finished actually the whole row, if you see. So this is where I was concentrating those 3 days, and finished up and went a little bit below to kind of fill in more of her nose. I didn't want to cut off like fully, so when I use the color, I just go in there, and when the nostril is gonna come out, it's gonna be darker color, so I did not want to introduce any more below it. It just finished off what was included in like this brighter color grouping. And then I went, of course, in shading, where you can see those feathery outfits of the guy's cloak or something like that. So even went a little bit below, because that's where the color kind of groupings stopped, and that's where I decided to stop. So I'm very happy I did in what 4 days like 6,400 stitches on this piece, to fill in from about here, filling in. Of course, there's some patches that were done, if you remember. So this is where I've done, and I calculated if I do like a 4 blocks down for the next 4 months to the end of the year, that would put me about 2,500 stitches a month, and I could finish another like that. And then just over like 8.5 blocks down, it would be left for next year. That would be amazing if I could finish another row, or I could go with a row of 3, and that would shorten my monthly requirement for this piece even more. I love it how it's turning out, all nice details. I love how her eye is just sort of it gives it the whole feeling that she's in it, in a hug, and like a happy or just excited to be in his arms, or sad, something like this, in this whole eye closed off look. But anyway, this is where I'm gonna stop, of course, and then I'm gonna pick up, even though it's only a few hours left of the night, I'm gonna pick up something else to continue with my challenge game. And next piece for my 7K challenge, to finish off, I'm gonna leave for my spoiled child, which is usually my first in a month to start. But we had to switch switch pieces since I was working on Beloved before. So this is what it looks like right now. If you remember from previous videos, if you've seen it, that I was prepping the living areas that had about maybe three different symbols left that had maximum stitches in them in this areas. So as you can see in here, where there's a cloth, there's gonna be not a lot. I filled in quite a bit, but this is like a shading behind that is quite a bit left. So that's three colors about probably, and here is two to fill it in, and that should not take super long. So I'm very excited to see how it all gonna look, all filled in. There's a couple stitches, I think they were unstitched. Were they? I'll have to pull out my glasses, but I think it's gonna be unstitched, because as you can see, the line where I usually go is a little bit above, so I filled in below in here. So yeah, I'm gonna start this piece, and I need just 1100 to finish my challenge, and like a day after tomorrow is going to be a lot of prepping done with the house and food shopping, so I'm not going to have a lot of time left for stitching, and Saturday pretty much whole day is going to be entertaining and cooking, so I need to do a lot by tomorrow evening. So let's start on my spoiled child in August part. And here I have a whole section done, so we can see a little bit more. So as you can see, there were some spots that required mostly dark colors with 310 or 310 blend, so that was not as confetti heavy. But if you remember, which was a few seconds ago, I guess, for you on a video, that there's a fabric cloth here that had a lot of filled in just this section, and there were just very scattered stuff in here, and some in that. But this is what I finished in here, and I guess I could say that it's halfway done in a row, which should be within 3 months, 3 months left, and I have 4 months left to do the rest of the row, so it's not as gonna be time consuming, hopefully, although I have all those folds and the skin of hers that is gonna be working in there, and of course the wooden part in here that has all kinds of shades. But this is what I've done in the month of August, to filling in all of this with the several, like maybe some areas had like a three max colors, not colors but symbols left. But this is what it's looking right now, and it's cool how the like a light bounces off in here also, so it's amazing. And you have to, of course, this size look from further away, not very up close, because that's where you get all of the picturesque looking stuff. So I'm done with my spoiler child for this month, and next one is gonna start with her part. So it's like we're finished with the child and we're continuing with the woman, so that's what I'm gonna start next month. So that's it with this one, and I'm pulling something else for the next. And since August, and a few days ago, it was the birthday of one of the actors, Lanjan, so for the character, so I figured I might as well pull out this piece. I haven't worked this year yet, so it's about time. I'm trying to get each whip touched, especially big ones, at least twice a year. So this would be first time of this year. And this project is quite a big, and I have only 22 percent done, and it includes blends. It has cross stitching and I think of French knots too, and you see a lot of work, and I can show you what I've done. So everything in that reddish color is what is done, and there's still a lot left to do. So I'm right now just stitching in the background, and let me show you what it is in real. So here it is on my homemade frame. This one is actually, I'm trying out as a square pieces, and we'll see how it looks. But I'm just stitching down, and then once I'm completed substantial amount, I do the back stitching in there, and continuing so on. So probably gonna continue working on the background, and then only concentrate more on the main characters, Magister or Devil Cult or Untamed, as a show it's called. So this is what I'm picking up. I've missed this piece. It's very nice colors to work on, and just take like a dark ones and just go down to the bird's neck and the body, and there's lots of feathers, white color involved in that part. So I'm just gonna bounce a little bit around, and we'll see what happens when I added some stitches. And 3 days of stitching, and this is what I've got. So you might not see all the back stitching that I've done, but I was trying to fill in the gray parts in here to go up. Also the clouds were finished in this and this part, and as you can see, I got finished around around the edges to do, and I moved this thread to go around those feathers, bird feathers. And let's see, the flowers actually were the color that was not in for typical stitching, so seems like it's gonna be only for back stitching. And I was filling in those flower buds in here and filling, so that would be almost done. I still need to do with the like a 2 threads and few 1 threads, finish off this tree, and of course that tree that just showed up, and you can see the mountain edge in here, and you can kind of tell that the circle it's starting to shrink in here on both sides. And when I was filling in this part, actually you can kind of see the guy. Let me pull out perhaps the picture. So this, ooh, the light. So the what you see in the orange color is what I've stitched, and let's see if I take this off fully, so you can see what is left. So Lanjan's like a hairdo is already kind of outlined on the top, so that's where I stopped, and then it's gonna be this this line in going here. So it's not a lot of the white feathers left in here, and this, I don't think that's a full picture. There you go, you can see better. Sorry for the light glare, but that's where I went. So I went almost all the way down to the bottom of the circle in the background, and you can tell where the back stitching still left to do, at least the big ones, and there's going to be some small ones, but I'm very happy how it all went. And turns out that this is what's a little bit hiding on the top. That's 14 days worth of stitching, so I think that's pretty good in total, since I started to work on this piece. So I'm very happy, and I'm probably gonna pull it out again in October, when there's gonna be other character actors birthday. So you're gonna see at least once more this piece in this year. So I'm gonna stop stitching on this one, although it was kind of hard to stop, but other pieces are screaming at me to work on them, so I have to reluctantly put this aside and pick something else. Well, I don't know how long I'll be able to stitch on it, but I've decided to start today the last ornament from a timeless ornaments, elegance ornaments from Dimensions. So this is a Chinese version kit because it's super hard to find the kit that was from Dimensions, and if you find it, it's like 150 and plus practically. To buy. So I've decided to try out the version from AliExpress, and it's the last one that I have left to do. And like always, I have in my little frame cut in half the piece of fabric that was, because for backing I'm not going to be using the same fabric that is for stitching, and I put it on a little frame, marked the very middle with washable marker. I kept all the threads as it is on original from original kit in here, and you see still quite a bit of the threads left, but we'll see how much it goes. It's going to be a lot of like burgundies and purples and some gold and a little bit and stuff. So right now what's the program is telling me that I have about 4,000 stitches to put in that last ornament, and that includes all back stitching, French knots, long stitches, and all the golden like a ribbon that I'm gonna have. So there's a little bit work for me left to do, so we'll see how that works. So I just want to start because I want them all done before the end of this year, so I need to crack on this. And plus I think it was World Embroidery Day yesterday, possibly. I would have to check my calendar, but it's a good time to start, I think. So I'm gonna start cracking on this. We'll work probably for a couple of days, and we'll see how it goes. And I had to count for 3 days of work for this piece because yesterday I managed to put in like 25 stitches. So it was my maximum that I could do the whole day Saturday. So this is where we are, and as you can see, I think I finished it all. What's that? Finished all in the middle except like a back stitching and a French knots that's going to be in here, and I started to going all around, and it's going to be bigger and mixed in more colors, so it's going to be taller than that, of course, and nice shape. So that's where I've decided to stop. I think that's enough. I'm happy I did so much already, and I'm gonna set this aside. And today, the 13th, I'm gonna grab something new that was on my plans for this year, and that would be Mereshka Vintage Lilies. I had it as an old kit that you can see kind of, that's how it was put through the slot, the picture, and there's nothing else inside except like a pictures, and there's a couple more designs that they were suggesting. This is pretty Christmas night in here, but it's more like a child size style, but I want to do the lilies. And the kit that I ordered came with the not the Belfast fabric, but Ada, like a 16 count. So I was trying to find something equivalent in that color, although the color that as a 16 count Zweigart Ada was a little bit darker than the previous one that I've worked on, and it's vintage roses, and I have this waiting to be framed together. I have like oval frames I found several years apart at the different resale shops, and it's exactly same style, so I calculated that it would fit. So as you can see, let me see if I can zoom out a bit for you, and it almost fits in the frame. So the fabric that I stitched this one, it was on a linen, and I had very little fabric left on the sides. As you can see, when I tighten it up, it was very little of the sides to do. So I was searching, and look how much difference is in the color. This is kind of like a darker, gloomier color with the grayish. And I was looking for something like this, and after getting several different 32 count linen fabrics, I came up with something that I think is fairly close, and it's a Zweigart linen latte color, and I think that's a pretty good. I couldn't find exactly like this, so I don't know if Mereshka was making, but I didn't want to buy the whole new kit again and try to get the same color, although I think the fabric in there is slightly different. Oh, something bent in there. So because I want to frame them together, and it's been washed, and I'm keeping that in a bag, protect from dust and dirt, so I've decided to grab it, and it's all ready to be framed. Let's see, the pattern itself is, let me put this aside. The pattern is gonna be a 99 by 184, so in the height is about the same, but it should be they saying a little bit wider, I believe, than roses, but that's all right. So I'll use the threads that were included in here. There's the three of them. Where is what is one more? It should be red color. Hiding. So 3 pallets, and you see how it was done, just with the little slits in here to tuck in, and you can unwind as much as you want or as little as you want of the thread. So I'm gonna do that, and I already cut and measured, cut, and put on my homemade frame. I have a video sometime on my channel how I make this. So it's a drum tight, and I put it on the frame, marked it my middle, and I'm probably gonna go up upper part, or it could be bottom part, but I'll do the half and then roll it and do bottom or the top part. So this is what it is. I've done my edges here so it does not unravel. So I'm all ready to stitch. So I don't know how long it's gonna take me to make this one, but like I said, I have a frames already waiting, and I'll need to cut the board according to that frame, although I'll have to figure out how to put it with the glass so it would hold in the bag, because it was not meant for the thick board and fabric and the glass to be in it. So yeah, I'm very excited to finally start. I think there's another type, I think, a flower that would go in the grouping, but I found only 2 frames right now, so that's what I'm sticking with, although I think the portraits would look good in oval. But I've done this one, and I've decided to make companion of lilies, and we'll see how it goes. As you can see, there's going to be all kinds of blends like in here, and the back stitching same way, and half stitches, especially in the background area, to give a little bit something extra. So I'm starting this today, and I want to at least put in some kind of start to then later just pull in and continue. So that's that. And I did work only for 1 day, although I went a little bit more into the night with stitching, because I got so distracted with it that I lost track of time. And this is what it looks like right now. So I decided to stitch the top portion of this piece, and I had it upside down. So just started from a middle. I marked it with my needle. Once I stitched in, it's easier for me to also find which threads I want to go, because I'm not marking on a paper pattern. So this is, for me, it's easier to compare to a paper pattern where I need to go, which thread to grab, and that's where I'm kind of keeping eye from this, like I'm grabbing next color and the next and the next, and then just kept going until I finished the thread. Or like this had a lot of the stitches throughout, so that will help me then to position other colors compared to those. So that went pretty well, and I have over 12% already done in this piece in 1 day. So it goes quite fast, quite well, although majority of the stitches were those half stitches, of course, but in the flowers themselves there's going to be in the greenery around, I'm sure it's going to be quite a bit of color changes, and we'll see how it goes. But I'm very happy. This is the bud that I was working on, and the biggest bud leaf in here already started. But like I said, I was just reaching the point in there and stopping and then continuing the rest of it. So I'm gonna set this aside. I don't know when I'll be picking it up, but I'm sure you will see it. So far I'm very happy how it's turning out, and I'll update you once I decide to stitch more. And today is August 14th, 2023, and I've decided it's time to pull out my chatelaine Baltic Sea mandala, or Aussie, and I haven't stitched that since March, so it's time to play with it. So this time, if you remember, guys, I was keeping like two pillowcases I got from like a secondhand store. I made sure they're long ones, and I've decided to try and just hold it on the frame with the pillowcase. This way I can just roll it down where I don't want to work to be touched. So I'm hoping that will help me to keep it from dust and dirt. And the same on the other side, I had the different ones, so I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as possible, because I still have that a little bit of smudge here, and I know some of those silks that I'm working on. I'm stitching, by the way, with all the suggested threads and beads that I'm gonna have, and I ordered them European cross stitch, and I keep them the way it came. So all the silk threads, I'm keeping them in a bag, and you see the rainbow colors, oh beautiful, shiny. So I keep them in the bag, and for the DMC where it's gonna be, I just had the regular kind of marking for the threads when I need to stop and hang in there. So beautiful, beautiful color is gonna be. Oh, I can't wait to work on that again. I missed it. Some of those flower buds were done with just one color that's ever changing. Like this one is especially, you see how much it changes, so it gets very colorful. So I don't know where I'm gonna go exactly, because Lighthouse, one of the buildings, is gonna be already here. So I'm just gonna try to work. I work all the way up, and I think then when it's time for beading, I might try and get on a different frame where I can extend, because I don't think that's gonna be big enough unless I start from a top and then roll it on the bottom. But that's what I started from a very middle, and started going up and like going sort of in the circles. And I see that there's gonna be some stitching there done, and you see the very edge on the right side is already marked, so that same, it has to be on the left side, and of course going to be on the bottom and then on the top. So I don't know where exactly I'm gonna go, because there's a lot to fill in still, or even without the beads. So we'll see where I'm gonna work on, just where my heart will desire. So I guess I'll see you guys in a few days with hopefully good progress on this one. Okay, since today is 17th, I want to show you what I worked on for 3 past days. And here it is. So mainly I just worked on this area. As you see, there is a building shaping up with taller parts and the sides, and I couldn't go into anything below, but just try to reach the bottom and keep going. Then there is a grassy area, I guess you could say, with some sticks growth coming out of there. Worked on that one, and that was mainly it. Kind of worked more on there and just filling up this one area. I did not go to the other side, as you see. It's just I put in here almost 3,000 stitches without like 20. So that's for 3 days, and that's considering that my youngest started 8th grade, so last year in the middle school. So we had to shop for supplies, although strangely it was the least amount of supplies needed for school when you look at the list of all 8 years, I believe. So it was fairly quick shopping for us to do. Then we did some more volleyball stuff. One thing was very cool, that there's like a, you attach around you like a waist with a velcro thing that comes out with the like a bouncy string, and there is for volleyball there is like a wrap around you close it in so you can hit it like a if you know anything about volleyball, if you're trying to serve like a start the game, it bounces back to you so you can practice. Because she signed up again for the YMCA volleyball, since school team starts only after New Year. So this way she can play around and put in more practice and strength in her to play in the school. So that's gonna start very soon. And we were also painting her room. It was not painted for the past 10 years, so it was more like girly colors before, and now we just went in the store and picked like a grayish color. I don't think I can even show you what kind of gray it would be, but a little bit darker than this one, for example. So it's some gray color that she wanted to be done, so we had to patch some holes that was made and before, and rearrange some furniture afterwards. So it was taking a bit of our time, but she's now in the school, and the middle one starting college this year, so it's gonna start that soon. And eldest car needed to be fixed again. We had to take it in, and he was using my car to go to his work in school, so I was stuck at home unless middle kid doesn't go to work. Then I could use his. So yeah, that's a lot of life thing for you, which I usually don't have a lot to say, but there was a lot of things happening in here. And I wanted to ask you if you guys planning to go to Needlework Galleria this year in St. Charles, Missouri, or even if not, if you have like some dimensions kits that you've stitched and you have like a pattern and threads left, or just threads, and you want to get rid of or sell, or just give it as a gift, I would be happy to take some of that. Some of the patterns that were long time out of print I've been looking for, so even if you have like a leftovers, I could match color of the threads, I think, for that. So that would be great. You can contact me like Instagram, or I'll put my email also below if you want to send pictures, and we can talk after that. But that would be great. And few of Lenarte kits and patterns that I've been looking that has been hard to get. What was that? Not Cleo. Was it Cleopatra, I think? And a few others. So especially dimensions, I've been wanted to get hands on a couple of them, and it's hard to do. So if you're planning to be in Needlework Gallery, we can meet in there, or we can figure out how to do some shipping and stuff. So reach out to me, because I know some people's taste change, and or they decide they want to clear out and don't want to keep the stuff, so, or you just finish stitching and don't know what to do with that. So that would be helpful for me. And think ahead if you gonna have something for that. So I think this is it. Oh, and we had also our AC was having problems. It was leaking somewhere. So the usual company that we have like a yearly subscription, they do plumbing, heating, cooling, all other things, water tank that we have, waterless tank to check up, and they gave us a price to figure out, just to find the leak. It would have been like 3,000, and we called smaller company that installed the AC unit, which was like 9 years almost ago. and the guy came out, found the leak with like a metal detector wand, and it was showing me through going through coils, and then beep beep, and then beep 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 beep, beep, you know, like finding metal. So it's like that's where it's leaking, and luckily that copper pipe, not a pipe, but thing was under 10-year warranty, so we just made it. So he came today with the new part and replaced, luckily for free. It just I had to pay for them to come out and hours of work. So like 3,000 just practically to find the leak versus come find the leak. He put in like 4 pounds of Freon in the thing, and worked, and that was $1,030 or something like that. So it was a huge price difference. Big company was giving options: either try to find the leak and then fix it, or like have their guy come in and talk about totally new unit. And since we have 2 floors plus a full basement, that is not cheap, probably, I don't know, $7,000 or $8,000. So I'm so happy that we got a second opinion and went with original, guys, because that would have been ridiculous. That's how salespeople, I guess, are. But yeah, so finally, even though it cooled down the past few days, we had even one day all the windows open, although like our thermostat sent us email saying that, oh, your house humidity is over 70%. Close the windows and turn on AC to suck it out. So, but through the whole day, I had the windows open to get some like a fresh breeze. That was so cool. But now it's going back up into the 90s and humid in here in St. Louis, greater St. Louis area. So I've been sitting at home stitching whenever I can, and I think I did pretty good with all the things happening in the past 3 days. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna stop this half of the August part video, and I hope you enjoyed watching it, following it, and I'll be waiting for your comments below for anything, or just say I had a great time, or was enjoying drinking coffee and watching. That would be great, you know, would raise my mood a little bit more. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time, and I'll start right after this. I'm gonna start the second part of August, not September, August video. So we'll see how that goes. I've been doing a little bit shopping, and especially Facebook resale patterns and kits. Bad me. And already prepping what I want to look for and kit up from a galleria. So I've been doing some business in that way for shopping. I'm sure my wallet is not gonna be happy next month. So until next time, this was Jurgita saying bye-bye, and I'm gonna go have some coffee. Bye.